This is Outdated, and welcome back to Outdated Reviews. This is episode 9, and today we are going to look at the Symbaroum Starter Set by Free League Publishing. Symbaroum? I'm not exactly sure which syllable gets emphasized, honestly, but nonetheless, this is it. Treasure Hunts in Davokar. So we're going to take a look at this Free League published item here in just a sec, but first, a word from our sponsors. Yeah, who am I kidding? There aren't any. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. Alright, so we've talked about in the past what I look for in a starter set. I need a set of rules I can understand, pre-gen characters, an adventure, dice, it's that sort of thing. So, first off, let's take a look at the product. It's a thick box. This is the exact same size as the Alien box from, I want to say it was episode 3. It's the exact same size. They're both by Free League, and they generally keep theirs the same. Let's take a look at the back of the box. The Eshirani dynasty was as short-lived as it was cruel, known for its insights into the light and the darkness. Key to their power was an artifact known as the Rod of Light and Darkness. Its touch could breathe life into dead things, or steal it away from that which lived. And guess what? The rod's current whereabouts have been revealed. To students of the Eternal Night, this opportunity cannot be ignored. Its final resting place is said to be Lafarda's Tower, situated in the area known to treasure hunters as the Blasted Heath, where lightning rain burns flesh and shatters dreams. Enter the wondrous world of Symbaroum. This starter set for the Symbaroum role-playing game is specifically designed to let you and your friends experience treasure hunts and expeditions in the dark and mysterious forests of Davokar, including 2 ready-made adventure sites for you to explore. It also contains guidelines for creating your own treasure hunt adventures. Of course, our hope is that your initial excursions into Davokar will leave you curious to know more about the game world, its forests, cultures, and its long, dark history. So contents include a 64-page rulebook, introducing the easy-to-learn and highly flexible rule set, along with its dark and mysterious game world. Another 64-page book, this one's the Adventure Compendium, including 2 adventure locations for your players to explore and rules for designing adventures of your own. The Symbaroum Bright Davokar Dice Set, we'll get to that in a second. A double-sided map, with one side depicting the game's setting at large and the other the treasure hunter's town of Thistlehold. A second double-sided map showing the main locations of the 2 pre-made adventure landscapes meant to be used at the gaming table. And 6 character sheets describing 5 ready-made player characters and 1 mythical companion for you to play. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. So we're going to go ahead and open the box here, and again, incredibly sturdy construction. It always is with Free League. We don't have anything on the inside here, except for a little ink. I don't know what the heck that is, but not much here. And just so we're clear, this is actually my copy, right? I took out the silicone packets that would have been here. There's a games catalog. Free League tends to put these in all of their starter sets. Here's the dice it was referring to. So characters have stats ranging from basically 1 to 20, but in reality, when you make your character, it ranges from 5 to 15. And so how it works is whenever you want to do something, so here's like so you can get a good look at the dice. It's the 20-sided die looks like. Really nice color, right? The little marbled green, it's cool. So let's say your character has a 15 on something, which would be your highest stat when you do your stat breakdown. You have to roll this and get a 15 or below to succeed at it. There are 8 statistics for your character, and literally that's all you ever use. You use those 8 statistics. The thing that I found fascinating, and I didn't realize this was actually more common than I thought, this was the first place I'd ever seen this, but I think Dungeon World did it and a few others. The DM or GM never rolls dice. It's always the players. So whenever my character attacks a monster, I roll to hit it, right? Whenever that monster attacks me, I roll to dodge it or block it or whatever I'm going to do. If I don't do anything, it's always going to hit me. So it's always player facing. The player makes the roll. And so on a normal attempt, you're going to have, whatever your stat is, say it's 13, 13 or lower, and I succeed. It's a 1. I critically succeeded. Yay me. Okay. On the other hand, let's say it's a action I'm doing against someone. Okay. So, and let's say my stat is a 15 and theirs is a 13. I will roll and try to get my 15 or below, but their 13 on their stat means that they get to, because whatever it is subtracted by 10, and that's what the modifier is. So the difficulty gets +3 added to it. So my 15, I'm sorry, it gets +3 subtracted from, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll get it right at some point. But basically, I take whatever their modifier is, and I modify, like, the stat. I have to add it to it. So what will happen is if I need a 15 and they have a 13, I'll roll this, but I have to add 3 to the roll. It makes it harder for me to succeed. Or I can just subtract the 3 and roll a 12 or above, or 12 or below instead, which I failed there with a 19. That was pretty embarrassing. Okay, and so it does come with a 20-sided die. You got your 12-sided. 10, 8, 6, 4. So basically your standard polyhedral dice. Just love the color. And I don't know about you, but I always like to check this. Yes, these are carved dice. They are not stamped. I love that. Good quality dice. Now what do we have here? Book 1, the starter rules. Cover's pretty straightforward. You got a perfect bound here. And it is true that sometimes they do stitch these. So I don't know if this one's or not. We'll find out. Oh, you can hear that glue crack, right? So this is what the book looks like. And there's a lot of darkness. Like black is the main color here. And this kind of format is all of these products. They always look like that. So we have information on the setting. We have the general information on Welcome to Symbaroum. Ambria, Davokar. So these people, the Ambrians, came from a kingdom called Alberator. They had fought this horrible war with these necromancer guys. Literally, those necromancer guys would kill the good guys and then raise their corpses and make them fight their people. There's player characters. And the good guys won, barely. But the land is ruined. It's destroyed. It's crap. So what's happening now is the people of Alberator fled north to this place just south of this massive forest called Davokar. And that land they have now named Ambria, and that is their new home. Here we're looking at our character classes. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. I didn't. Here it explains the different how to resolve actions. Warrior, Hunter, Mystic. Okay, there's actually more than one wait a minute, did I do this right? Let's look at this again. Okay, so you've got the warrior and one occupation underneath, the knight. You have a hunter, one occupation, witch hunter. The mystic, you have a theurge, kind of like a cleric, a wizard, I think you know what that is. You have the rogue, here it's the treasure hunter, and I love the masks thing, those are cool. Then you have your abilities. And these are them. And everybody has a rank. Novice, adept, and I think it's expert or master. But this doesn't give you that master level because it's the starter set. Nobody's probably going to have that. So it goes into all of those. You got races and traits. You've got 2 different forms of humans. You have goblins, ogres. You got me flipping pages. That's all it tells you. There's actually more. We'll keep on going. Traditions and powers. These are like the magic, basically, and the religion and stuff. Combat rules. So I know from... Oh, and this is hugely helpful. Because this was a little different than what I was used to. Having this to look over after I read the instructions, it all kind of set in for me. Section on other rules. How you handle time, problem solving, social challenges. Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. I don't want to say this is rules light. It's really not. But it's definitely not rules heavy either. Equipment. One thing that really jumped out to me is this is a Free League product. I was expecting the Year Zero engine. That is not what we have here. This is a D20 roll-under system. Straightforward. Armor actually just lowers the damage you take, and sometimes armor has other abilities to help you, so or hurt you depending on the armor. Like example, heavy armor absorbs a lot more damage that you won't have to take, but it means you're going to be a lot slower. Goods and services. There's some pre-made characters for us. Oh, and this goes into who these characters are. So if you're going to play one of them, you know who the heck you're dealing with. This is all, and here's what a character sheet looks like. If I have a complaint, it's that I'm not a fan of these character sheets in general, and I'll show them to you up close later. But that's actually the end of this book. Looking to see if I can see any. Yes! This is actually perfect bound and stitch bound. So very high quality product, actually. High gloss paper. Normally with this much black, I would assume that matte finish would look better. But looking at this picture is a great example of why, if it were matte finish, the subtlety of the skin tone on the ogre there would be lost. It would be really hard to get it across. This glossy paper makes it so you can see those little details in the face really, really well. Actually, yeah, I'm actually looking at the score I gave this thing and thinking, I need to rethink it. But let's go ahead and look at the next thing. We have our Setting and Adventures book right here. Right. And same construction, same beautiful glossy paper, thick. One thing I noticed is this starter set does recycle a lot of art from core rule books and stuff. That is going to be a ding, because it does reuse a lot of this. So Thistlehold is like one of the town. In this story, I love that image. It's so good. It actually brings me like a little bit of the leaves at the end of the last tome and Dragonlance vibes, but if it were possessed by Satan. I mean, it looks a lot darker and creepier, but dark is what this is. What Symbaroum is, because Symbaroum was this ancient kingdom, I guess you would say, an empire that fell under mysterious circumstances. All of its land is now engulfed by this massive forest called Davokar. And I mean massive. Like, there are trees growing on top of trees, growing on top of trees. Even like, you have layer upon layer and getting deeper and deeper. There's also bright Davokar, which is the outer edges, right? Then you have dark Davokar, and they are both very different in their level of danger. Dark Davokar is absolutely terrifying. Here's Thistlehold with a nice little map with a key, but the art in here is, look at this massive head, and then this dude. Like, the art in here is so good. It really is. Here's a nice little hex map of the whole thing. This is Davokar. The lighter stuff here is light Davokar. This is dark Davokar. Ambria and all that stuff is all in here. I want to say Thistlehold is right there, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you, Thistlehold? No, that's Castor. Oh, Thistlehold is right there on the very edge, right there. I'll show you again in a minute. It's such a beautiful product. Moments of adversity. So here, we're going to actually have some box scores for monsters and enemies. Blightborn Human, that's the whole thing. Blightborn, I love that it's quick, to the point. Everything has the same statistics that you as a player have. Accurate. It doesn't say it like a noun, it says it like a verb. Accurate, cunning. I'm trying to remember that one. You know what, we'll go over them in a minute. But it has their modifiers, because that's honestly all that matters. Their defense, their armor, their toughness, their pain threshold. We'll get into all that. And this is where it breaks down the NPC stat blocks. They have these things called abominations. Here's all the beasts that are in the starter set. There's some cultural beings. It only gives us a few because of what is in here. Some cultural beings, including clan warriors, cultists, treasure hunters. In this world, here's elves, and the elves in here look so cool. And they are not good people. Just straight up, the elves, for the most part, not on your side. And I think that's interesting. Trolls, and there's different types of trolls and what they've been through and all that. There's the undead. Let's see, monstrous traits. All right, here we go. Here's an adventure location where darkness dwells. So this is basically an adventure, for lack of a better term. So we go through here. There you go to a barrel. So I'm just going to zip through. Nice old school map here. Simple to the point, because these are pretty quick. They gave you 2 of them after all. They look like they're riding a moose, but I don't judge. Here's the non-player characters from that adventure. That art is so good. Now the next adventure site, The Gathering Storm. Again, good lord. Okay, the art it's dark, it's creepy, it's evocative. Beautiful map here. The Tower of Irafarda. Irafarda? Yeah, that's it, Irafarda. Another classical map there. More non-player characters for that adventure. And here's an example of the products, right? So we're at an ad now, but you've got like the starter set, plus you've got there's actually 4 core books to Symbaroum, although you really only need 1 to get started. And then there's like a story, a massive campaign that eats up 6 hardbacks. I currently have 5 of them. The last one hasn't quite come out yet, but it's close. Here's some of their other products. Alien, that's the core book, but we reviewed the starter set. Coriolis, Forbidden Lands, that's a core box set. I'll be reviewing that in the future. Mutant Year Zero, Tales from the Loop, that's the core book that the TV show is based off of. We'll review that. Vason, I will review that. Okay, that's another one down. Beautiful book. Beautiful, beautiful book. Okay, now we've got character sheets. Let me get these out. Alright. So, I'm not a fan of the character sheets. I think the reason is they're just kind of plain. But the most interesting part is this little thing up here, this little matrix that contains your toughness, your maximum toughness, your corruption, your permanent corruption, your pain threshold, and your corruption threshold. That little bracket there holds a lot of really important information. These are the stats: accurate, cunning, discreet, persuasive, quick, resolute, strong, and vigilant. So you either roll against one of these, or you roll against one of these, and it gets modified by your opponent's. So let's say I'm trying to sneak past somebody. I'm going to use discreet. But that person's a guard. Their job is literally to look for people that are sneaking past them. I would roll my discreet and try to get that number against their vigilant. So, since my discreet is a 5, I have to roll a 5 or below, which means, let's just be completely honest, I suck. But their vigilant is 7, which gives them a modifier of -3, which means they suck too. So basically, I am rolling to get a 5, but I -3 from my roll, so it increases the chance from 25% to about 40%, right? So that's kind of how it works. And then these abilities, you have the 3 ranks, Novice, Adept, and Master. They all do different things, right? Then you have the weapons down here, and the armor and what it does. On the back, you have more details, your equipment, friends and companions, artifacts and mystical treasures, any monies they have. They have their own money system: thalers, shillings, and ortegs. Yeah, that's it. Personal goals, background. Now, in the Alien box set, I talked about how I'll spit it out here eventually. How the character sheets are on this nice glossy paper, and I would not actually use those. Same here. Nice glossy paper. They are really nice produced character sheets. I'm just not a fan of the sheets themselves. I think it doesn't have a whole lot of pizzazz to it, but it's boring to look at. Sorry, it just is. Now, that being said, the system itself is fantastic. It's like whenever you get that sandwich that doesn't look like a prepared sandwich because it's got like mess hanging out the side and all that, but then when you bite into that sandwich, you're like, Jesus Christ, can I have more of these? These are so good. That's what we have here, right? All right, so what's next? We have a map. Woo-hoo. So it's a 2-tier. We've got a map of Thistlehold, which is the main city that takes place here. And if you were to like play the main campaign that goes with Symbaroum at the moment, you would start in Thistlehold. And on the back, we've got our big map of Davokar. All the way up here, and then all of this here is Dark Davokar. Basically where the D is, a little over, all the way back and up this way. This is Light Davokar around the edges. And then this is Ambria, the kingdom the humans have controlled. There's actually a group of humans called barbarians as well. They're actually considered a completely different race, or whatever word we're going to use, because I don't care either way. As long as we know what we're talking about, it's cool. And they're somewhere over here, and they have their completely own culture, right? But, yeah, really good quality material. Feel that. Well, I mean, you can't, but look at me feel that. Okay, what do we have here? Another minor complaint. I look at this map, and I'm really not sure what I'm looking at. Looks like there's a structure right here. This is technically north, like this way. But I really don't see what this is for. It is not very intuitive. I think we might have some little bits of ruins here and there. I'm just overwhelmed by that. But when I flip it over, boom. That was in the book. That is gorgeous, though. And my players can have that, because it doesn't say what's where. It gives them an idea of what they're going to be dealing with. Then when they come in, they can go down here, they can go up here, and then up here. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? This is gorgeous right here. I love this cutaway style map. It's really cool. And that's what we have. So, one more time, we're going to go over this. We have our pre-gens, which is one of the requirements to get at least a 70 or 7 out of 10. We have a couple of maps from the adventures, right? We have a book of setting and adventures. We got to have that, so that's 2 things, right? We have the starter rules. That's 3 things, and I will say, yeah, I can understand them pretty well. We have a little catalog of stuff, of the other stuff they have, and we have these really nice cut dice in light Davokar green. There's still some room in this for more stuff, right? But it's a pretty thick box as freely goes. It's also very tight. They do that too. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous product. So let's talk about it. Now, I give things a score rating from 0 to 10. And I'm an educator, so like I teach high school literature, so I think of things in terms of pass-fail, right? So, sorry, I just realized this thing was completely not how I wanted it. So, if that's the case, 7 out of 10 is a 70, that would be passing. A 6.5 out of 10, that'd be a 65. In my world, that is not passing, right? To pass, you've got to have dice, we've got that. You got to have rules that I can understand, we've got that. You got to have pre-gens, we've got that. You have to have an adventure, we have 2, okay? Not only that, we have some pretty nice maps. We have a beautiful product that is not only perfect bound, it is also stitch bound and not even hardcover. That's pretty high quality there. So looking at this, I'm going to give Symbaroum, the starter set, Treasure Hunts in Davokar, an 8 out of 10. I think it is an incredibly solid product. If you want to check out Symbaroum and give it a quick, let's see if I'm going to enjoy this thing or not, buy this bad boy, do it, play the 2 adventures, see how your players feel about it. Because an 8 out of 10 is a strong, I thought that was something on there, but it's actually part of the picture, is a strong recommendation. I recognize that you look at this and you're like, man, everything's really dark and stuff. It is okay. The story it is a more grim setting, right? There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of RPGs today have grim settings. And this is like taking your Dungeons and Dragons or whatever game you play and not stepping all the way into the world of Call of Cthulhu, but also not stepping into the absurdity of Dungeon Crawl Classics either. You're darkening up D&D. You're making D&D more like the Twilight Zone. No, you're not making D&D like a fantasy world like, say, the old 1930s Dracula movies. That would be what Ravenloft generally did. Now, this is going dark, right? But not too dark. Actually, stay tuned. I have a few reviews from now. You'll see what dark looks like. But for now, 8 out of 10, Symbaroum Starter Set. Go check it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I will see you next time. Peace.